This video is brought to you by Gamersubs. Use code MHB at checkout for 10% off your next order. I'm on a quest to platinum every PS3 game that I own. So I put all my PS3 games into a wheel and one by one we're platinuming whatever the wheel lands on. As always, if you do end up enjoying the content and want to see more like it, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's spin the wheel and see what we're platinuming this week. We get what we get, we don't get upset. I feel like that's my safe word. Maybe that's what's protecting me so far. Woohoo! Alright, this is where it gets weird. I don't know what we do with this one. I feel like we just platinum whatever the wheel picks. So we'll go straight into Sly 3. We've done Sly 1 already. Oh well, that's alright. Back to the world of Sly Cooper. One of my favorite platinum experiences from this year. Mainly because it had been so long since I'd played this great series, and the platinum was a big old play the game and relax type of experience, which I am all for. Now, is it a little weird to jump from the first game to the third game? Absolutely. But the wheel picks what the wheel picks, and if that's out of order, my mindset from the start has basically been, oh well, I've played all these games before at the end of the day, and it makes it a bit more interesting, for me at least, to keep it all random. To the point I almost hope we get a series in reverse order. Anyway, wheel rules aside, Sly 3 is a game in the series that I always remember being my personal favorite. I loved this game as a kid. I also loved Ratchet 3, Spyro 3, and Crash 3 the most as a kid. Maybe I just liked the number 3? I don't know, but it just felt like bangers were always the third game. But much like Sly 1, I haven't played this game in over 20 years. As I crumble into dust saying that. So I have no idea how it holds up today or if adult Jimmy will be as big a fan. So let's find out while grabbing ourselves another platinum trophy. Now, the trophy list for Sly 3 is pretty straightforward. Not as simple as Sly 1, where you can platinum the game while beating the game, but not far off. Most of the trophies will unlock by beating the story, but this time to earn the platinum, we'll need to achieve 100% in the game, and that means after the story is complete, we'll need to complete all 42 of the Master Thief challenges as well. I'll touch on these more in the next step. For now, all we need to worry about, since there's no missable trophies, is just beating the story mode. Sly 3 is set 1 year after the events of Sly 2. What happened in Sly 2? Again, it's been decades since I've played it, so I have no clue, but it doesn't feel like I've missed out on too much. Anyway, we start the game at what we quickly learn is the final chapter. Our villain for this game, Dr. M, is trying to get into the Cooper Vault, but Sly and the gang want that treasure for themselves, so they try and break in before he does. This is where we get the hang of some of the Sly basics again, mostly sneaking and platforming, before things get a little hairy as Dr. M captures Sly and begins crushing him, only for the level to fade and for the real story to begin. The Vault. Alright, first trophy down. It's probably for... I think all the trophies we're gonna get here are just for beating the levels, so... The whole premise of Sly 3's story is to recruit a team of Master Thieves who can help us break into the Cooper Vault, and the start of said journey takes us to Venice to get Murray back on board with the gang. He blames himself for Bentley getting hurt in the second game and went off to Australia to learn the magic of the Dreamtime from an Aboriginal guru. He's recently been spotted in Venice as the guru sent him off to clean up the water, which I'm sure has nothing to do with a local mob boss, Octavio, a former opera singer and celebrity forgotten thanks to rock and roll turned criminal mastermind. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our priority right now is to find Murray, so off we head to the police station to break out Dimitri right under Carmelita's nose in exchange for Murray's location. Oh, and yeah, I know Dimitri is a Sly 2 boss, but he won't be the last familiar face we see. Intimate moments. Now, gameplay wise, there's a big difference between Sly 1 and 3. The main difference being, this isn't a collectathon platformer anymore. No more clue bottles to unlock a safe at the end of the level. Hell, no more levels. You have an explorable small scale location, and in that you'll have missions to take care of. Whether that be with Sly, Bentley, Murray, or the other members of the team we'll acquire later. These can range from the standard platforming, stealth, tailing, and pickpocketing, hacking, beat 'em up sections, boat and plane segments, underwater dives, remote controlled vehicles, hell, even pirate ship combat, which is a lot of fun, just to name a few. There's so much variety in Sly 3, and I had an absolute blast with all of it, except for this turret section. This can burn in hell.
A casino where I always win? That's boring. I must really be in hell!
Could I see where someone is coming from if they were to say that it strays too far from the series' roots or goes too far outside the standard Sly gameplay? Absolutely. You know me, I love a good collectathon platformer and adored my time with the original early in the year. But the gameplay variety here is something I loved as well and made those big platforming sections or stealth sections even more of a treat to play through. Anyway, I bring this up because in this video the clips are gonna be all over the place because that's what this game is, and trophy-wise, there's not a whole heap to talk about from level to level, just that some missions also give you trophies. Back to Venice and Octavio, the mob boss's master plan is basically to pollute the water and threaten to sink Venice if people don't start liking opera again. Yes, it's goofy as hell. Anyway, we can't let that happen, and if we stop the water pollution, maybe Murray will join the gang again. We get a few trophies along the way for completing the canal boat chase. Hey, romantic boat ride. Using one of Sly's disguises. Undercover raccoon. This is like playing Assassin's Creed before Assassin's Creed. This is funny as. Collecting 500 coins. Hey, let's go. Penny pincher. And destroying all the tar pumps. Bentley plumbing. That was such a delay in terms of sound and pop-up. This leads us to a boss fight with Octavio, who, after he hurts Bentley, Murray rejoins the gang and goes mono-e-mono with the mob boss.
That's my son! That's my boy!
Yeah, I was not prepared for this fight. The bosses in Sly 1 were so easy. Here, you have to actually be smart, dodge and time your attacks. What's that about? I did finally string a few brain cells together, defeated Octavio, and it was on to our next stop. Beatdown. Alright, that's one of the bosses done. Murray believes his guru can help us in our mission to get inside the Cooper Vault, and so we head off to Outback Australia, where the guru has been captured and the local miners are digging into sacred Aboriginal sites. So obviously, we need to free the guru and stop this mining operation. Trophy-wise, we grabbed a few more in this episode for things like meeting the guru. Unleash the guru. Alright. Let's see how Australian we can get with this scenario. Collecting and scaring the miners off with a truckload of scorpions. Scorpion cleaner. This is weird. I don't remember. Do people still call it Ayers Rock? It just feels like it's Uluru, but maybe I'm thinking of the whole spot.
Oh, mate, don't say that, because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that. Collecting 1,000 coins.
Coin collector. Okay, that's 1,000. We're still working towards 2,500. I think that's how many we need. And took part in a barroom brawl with the whole gang, which was good fun. Last call. That was a fun little mission. We also get access to the Guru's playstyle in this episode, with his strength being to mind control enemies, which compared to others is on the simpler side, but usually results in a bit of fun chaos. The miners ended up digging out this demonic mask, and thanks to Carmelita being hot on our tail, she ends up getting taken over by the mask, and we need to save her in what is a pretty cool 3-stage fight. First with the sleeping darts, then when that doesn't work, a crane car chase, and capping it off with my favorite part of the gameplay, platforming on the clock to get the mask off and move on to episode 3. It's Halloween! That just reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, that's our time in the Outback done. So now we have Murray and the Guru in the gang, it was time to find someone with a bit more tech smarts in the remote control department beyond Bentley's abilities. This is where Penelope comes in, but she won't join the gang unless we can prove ourselves by defeating the Black Baron in his flying competition in Holland. This whole episode is basically to try and put the odds in our favor by sabotaging other contestants and framing it on the other teams so that they'll battle each other rather than us in the sky. We do also get our first taste of Penelope's gameplay style here, controlling this RC helicopter, which plays a bit like you're flying around in a crane machine claw.
Claw is our master. Claw chooses who will go and who will stay.
This is ludicrous.
I think she likes you. That was a long mission. Mugshot is also in the flying competition, another familiar foe, but this one stays a bad guy, and ultimately we take him out with Carmelita. Hey, digging up a bone. Does that count as a boss fight, I wonder? To be able to complete certain missions, from time to time you'll need to purchase abilities from the Thief Net. Thankfully, we don't need to buy all of them for trophies, as that would take some serious coin, but we do need to buy some to progress the episode, and others just because they have trophies associated with them. So we bought the hover pack for Bentley and the paraglider for Sly, which are both so damn helpful. OMG, a flying turtle, alright. Hey, raccoon paraglider. We cap off the episode by going head to head with the Black Baron in another quality boss battle with a great backdrop. Dueling it out on a plane wing is just top tier, but ultimately we defeat the Baron just to find out the Baron was Penelope the whole time.
How to get the mask off old Nettie.
It's Penelope. Taking on the persona due to not being able to enter the competition as herself and liking the attention, so just kept the character around. So no hard feelings. Aside from trying to knock us off the plane to our definite demise, and that's another one added to the gang. Mayday, Mayday. That was a really fun boss fight. It was time to get a demolition expert on board, and that's where another old villain comes back into the fray, as we need to convince the Panda King to help us out too. Heading to China to recruit the Panda King, who will only consider helping us if we first help him. His daughter has been taken and is to be forcefully wed to General Cao, so we need to save her, and if we take out Cao in the process, even better. Not a whole lot happening here in terms of trophies, but we do get to use the Panda King here and take out some vampires, which is pretty dope. Hey, Vampire Exterminator. And collected 2,500 coins, which you have to hold at one time. It's not all together. There we go, loot. Alright, that's for 2,500 at one time. So now I don't have to worry too much about having a stack of cash all at once. And I can chip away at the upgrades. Before we get the grand finale. Now this is an episode where we actually fight Cao earlier in the episode with a pretty cool two-phase fight. One atop bamboo and then one-on-one in the forest. Instead we have to take out a Chinese dragon to end the episode after successfully switching out the Panda King's daughter and tricking Carmelita to be the bride undercover. The dragon is another really cool fight though, launching up at it through fireworks and needing to platform our way across the body to the head to deal damage. Dragon Punch. The Panda King, grateful for our help with his daughter, joins the gang, and now we just need one more thief of expertise. An underwater specialist, which is where Dimitri comes back into the picture. He's lost his diving gear in the Caribbean, close to a town infested with pirates, and we need to get it back in order to gain his services. This is probably my favorite episode in the game with the treasure hunt mechanic, but especially when you start to sail the open ocean and can battle ships for some extra money, letting me purchase 4 new abilities in the Alarm Clock, Diablo Fire Slam, Shadow Power 2, and the Sly Spin Attack 3. There we go. Late Sleeper. Pink Power Murray Fighter. Let's go. Slide Tunkin. This one butchered me the first time. No! Whirlwind of Awesome. Sly Tutankhamun or whatever it is. But back to the story, and here we grab a trophy by helping Penelope reach the safe house again while blinded. Hug it out. Alright, kill. Our goal here is we need to collect Dimitri's gear while trying not to alert ourselves to the Pirate King, Lefouille, which of course doesn't work out as we find Dimitri's gear, but Lefouille ends up taking Penelope hostage. The bends. So we need to upgrade our ship before we can rescue her. With the dive gear, we get a taste of the underwater segments, which I really enjoyed. As I said in the Subnautica video, I love me some ocean exploration, and searching sunken pirate ships while avoiding sharks is pretty damn cool. We get two bosses in this episode. One is the sea monster called Crusher, basically a kraken, which is just about making sure the tentacles don't sink the boat. Tentacle Terror. What's up for? What's up for? And with a sea monster now on our side and our boat kitted out, it was time to save Penelope from Lefouille in what is yet again a simple but fun fight. Just needing to jump or duck his attacks and hit him back with the appropriate sword swing to knock him down off the sails. Taking out the trash. Alright, that was the easiest boss fight, but that's probably one of my favorite areas. That was so much fun. And with our time in the Caribbean at a close, the thief gang was fully assembled, and we flash forward to where the game started. Back in Dr. M's grasp and needing Carmelita to come and save us. This episode is mostly just about getting back to the Cooper Vault to open it and facing different variations of Dr. M along the way. The one underwater is a particularly tricky one, or at least it was for me. Earn your stripes. Alright, that's 50% done. We're right at the end of the game. Ultimately, we enter the Cooper Vault, go on a pretty dope platforming gauntlet with Sly, and Bentley and Murray hold off Dr. M and his troops. True friendship. And as we reach the riches, it's time to end this game. Facing Dr. M one final time in a fight that can get hairy quickly if you aren't careful. That second electric phase in particular can be so tricky to get any attacks in. Sly ends up getting knocked out and saved once again by Carmelita. The vault is collapsing and Dr. M refuses to leave the place he's worked so hard to get to all this time, so he gets crushed while the gang all escape. But after Sly doesn't return after a while, as he and Carmelita are finally together, everyone goes their separate ways, doing their own thing, for now at least. Everyone needs a foxy lady, ain't that the truth? So gang, what's next? Alright, that's gotta be the end of Sly Cooper 3. Okay, so that was the main game beaten for Sly 3, and as you can see, we don't have many trophies left after all of that. Even less when I immediately bought the Sly Jump Attack 3 because the last episode doesn't have access to ThiefNet. Jump kick like a plumber. Alright, that's all the abilities purchased that we need to for trophies anyway. We just had 2 trophies left to pop to unlock the platinum for Sly 3, and they're just for reaching 75 and 100% completion, which we would get for completing all 42 of the Master Thief challenges. Basically, these are just some of the standard missions in the episodes, but with a new constraint put on top of them, usually a time or health constraint, and these are genuinely not too bad. I've heard people struggle with these challenges in my Discord before, so I was prepared for a bit of a tough challenge. Hell, even a rage-inducing challenge. But honestly, these weren't all that difficult. It only took me a couple of hours to get through all 42, and outside of this stupid turret mission that again, I just plain do not enjoy, this was a rage-free affair. It was more of a farewell tour than anything, and in no time meant I got both 75 and 100% completion along with the platinum, and our time with Sly 3 had come to an end. Obsessive Raccoon. Alright, that's 75% of the way done. So far the challenges have been pretty chill, so I don't think this should take me too much longer. There we go, 100% pure Cooper and Master Thief. That is Sly Cooper 3 done, and overall I really enjoyed that. It's sort of that same thing with the Jack series where it's like, I sort of missed the collectathon aspects of Sly 1 here, but I really liked a lot of, it mixes it up all the time. It's constantly doing new things. The challenges really aren't that bad, but they did provide a good bit of spice to this platinum rather than just being really easy. I really enjoyed this a lot, so Do I prefer Sly 1 or 3? I guess it would depend what type of mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood for more of a collectathon, Sly 1. If I want a bit of variety instead, Sly 3. Sly 3 is great. So would I recommend you play and platinum Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves? I think this makes 3 videos in a row for this series, but this is another. Hell yes I do. We've been on a hell of a run lately, you'll love to see it. I had a lot of fun with Sly 3 from start to finish. I love these characters, the story was a lot of fun, the gameplay is jam-packed with variety that yes, while I think it can be hit and miss amongst fans, I enjoyed how I never really knew what to expect next, and the bosses are some of the best in the platforming genre. My only real criticism is the step back from the collectathon elements. I enjoyed that aspect a lot in the original, and I was a little disappointed to not have it here in Sly 3. Platinum wise, this is again pretty simple. Most of the trophies are a lock for the main story, but the Master Thief challenges do spice things up a tad and can test your skills. I didn't have too much difficulty with them, but they are good fun to complete regardless. So yeah, if you're in the mood for a good platformer with a ton of variety and a chill platinum experience, Sly 3 is a great way to spend your time. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, make sure to leave a comment with Foxy Lady to let me know that you made it to the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below and let me know which PS3 games you hope the wheel lands on next, or any games to potentially add to the wheel. Shout out to the channel members for that extra level of support, and special thanks to members of the Bear Club, G&T Papi, Scott Unwin, It's Grey J, Dark Wolf, Zafado, Lug Knights, Golden Sparrow, Lord Alex, Kuzma, Jarvis McGee, Steel Vanguard, and Briganius. Thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.